one off of gold, and then or one wisp off of gold, so you have 3 on gold, and then building an Ancient of War slightly earlier. I think this has paid off for him, and Infi is now coming in, looks like, for a tower rush. Moon only has 1 archer and his Ancient of War as well, and Moon might want to start putting up another Ancient of War maybe. Moon detonating a couple wisps so he gets the experience off that water elemental, and it looks like Infi actually did steal one of the creeps. I wasn't sure if he did, but I think he must have, just based on the fact that he has 20 experience at the moment, so that's very nice for him, and actually some nice micro there by Infi managing to get that low footman away, but it looks like he's had a rally point troubles, and actually he's left a couple footmen with full health just there, so this is going fairly well for Moon. Obviously he's a very low health demon hunter, but he does have 1 Moon Well with 100 mana left, and he's building another one, so he might actually be okay. Infi now with not much mana left. I think those detonates that got the water elemental also got the archmage, and so that's gonna be no more water elementals, but lots more militia coming in for Infi now as well. And Moon is notoriously good actually at holding off this pressure, and this the demon hunter's sort of fairly low on experience now. He did pick up a Slivers of Agility, and this might actually kill him. No, 1 hit point. Jesus Christ, that's close. Very nice there for Moon. Pretty lucky, really, to be honest. I mean, there's so much of skill, and then you get to a point where it's actually just a bit of luck. But if you're now setting up towers as well, and I'm not sure what Moon's going to do. He might actually be better just to sacrifice his hero to creeps, and that looks actually he has done that. Just because it's going to mean that he can actually get his hero back with full health, and it's level 1, so you can see it's actually already like a third back. So a pretty smart move there by Moon, and Infi's hero getting a bit low now. Moon uprooting his Ancient of War. Looks like he's going to try and pound down this arcane tower. No lumber mill, I don't think. Lumber mill being power built now. So we might see guard towers in the future, but this Ancient of War has been uprooted, and Infi noticed it and brought in all his footmen just to attack it. And Moon bringing in his archers now as well. His demon hunter should be back any second now. And the archers really just try and kill this arcane tower. It's so easy for them to. And will Infi get the cancel? No, Infi doesn't even cancel. That's a bit of a shame for him. Not going too well for Infi. Maybe he has bad lag or something. Obviously China doesn't have the best internet in the world. And Moon now with 4 archers producing a 5th, and this is going very well for him. There's not really much Infi can do. Moon getting a nice detonate of a wisp up there, which aggroed the creeps and is going to force the archmage to TP out. And Moon, you'll notice, still has his TP on him. He didn't use it at any point. And he might actually decide to go and buy some boots. I'm not sure. Infi sort of shot himself in the foot, so I think he does have to commit to some sort of attack now. He's really going to struggle to tech after this, and so I think this is why Moon's building a second Ancient of War, just in anticipation of this next attack. I mean, it would be possible for Infi to go for a tech now, and Moon's actually pausing the game. Hopefully we'll get back. And anyways, as I was saying, it would be possible for Infi to tech now, because Moon sort of hurt his economy a bit just by building the Ancient of War and stuff, and Moon's now saying the map is wrong. I'm not sure what this is about. Maybe he's did he get the wrong drops? Maybe did he get a Boots of Speed instead? I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. Infi now asking for a regame. That would be pretty lucky for him, I think, because this game hasn't gone too well. But I can't quite remember. I think I mentioned that Moon didn't have a Boots, and after creeping this, he did already have that Slippers of Agility. So I think Moon's saying that the map is wrong because it had the wrong drops, which is really odd, because Moon now saying it's okay. I have no idea what that means. Maybe he thinks it's okay and wants to continue on. I'd want to continue on if I was in this position. Infi obviously would do better to do it, but it'd be pretty unsportsmanlike, and also that it's such a small community in Warcraft 3 that you really just have to be just polite, and you see that so often, and it is great because you often get sort of players who know each other playing each other, and then you just get to have all kinds of really fun games, and it looks like they are going to regame. So I think I'll put this game off anyway, so it's still quite interesting even if it doesn't count. So I'll see you later, guys. Okay, folks, here we are. We're going to go for a regame of Game 2. Obviously, I think it was just a problem of the wrong drops for the map, and so Moon did point this out, being sportsmanlike, and said that this is the wrong map, we shouldn't be playing this, and so we are going for a regame, and it's not close positions this time, so this might, obviously last game went very well for Moon despite the really strong aggression by Infi, and so I imagine that Moon will be perfectly happy to play in a non-cross position game, and Infi went for an early scout. It didn't pay off this time. Last time he did, and it was a bit of a gamble, and He did do well off it, but this time he didn't. He is actually getting a bit lucky in that it's his second place he scouts, isn't the last place, and so he will be able to put up a early farm here, probably somewhere in this gap here maybe. And Ancient of or Altar of Elders now going up in a Warden this time for Moon. I'm not sure if that's a reaction just to the fact that it's not close spawns, because obviously with a Warden you want to creep it up to level 3 ideally. And this is something that's going to be a lot easier because Moon knows that it isn't cross spawned because of the timing of this peasant and the fact that it timed out immediately after, or actually I think before it got there, rather than it was still in militia form for a while. And Archmage for Infi, which isn't too surprising. Archmage is sort of one of the better heroes for this map, and it's the Warden is going to have to do a fair bit of creeping, which is actually quite tricky for elves on this map. It's there's a sort of a little gap between the time you can creep this camp and this orange camp, and then the time where you can bring your Ancient of War and creep something like this expansion. And in that time, you sort of can't accelerate your creeping, and that can cause a couple problems in terms of you just can't get your level 3 quick enough. But I'm sure Moon will have something planned, just because, you know, he's Moon, and it looks like Moon will be sticking around to creep rather than harassing. Getting a Cloak of Shadows, which is completely useless, because obviously Warden has Shadow Meld anyways, and Infi is now militia creeping with 4 militia as well. Moon did have a Wisp out scouting, and it looks like he's not going to bother detonating it or anything to kill the water elemental. He's just going to go and continue on, which is probably quite logical. And Gauntletless Overshred is actually very nice for the Archmage, because obviously he's going to be going against a lot of direct damage from this Warden, and so that extra strength is going to work out very well for him. And Moon now taking a bit of damage from this Wisp. He does this quite a bit, where he just has one Wisp that pretty much never really harvests any lumber. It just runs around and just keeps on scouting, and it's obviously just so cheap and easy to do that. And you can really get a lot of map idea of how the map is laid out just based on that. And it looks like Moon has managed to steal the big turtle and get a Mantle of Intelligence, which is obviously a much better item. Getting level 2 as well now. And he probably won't choose a skill yet. He'll keep it open so he can go Fan of Knives, or he can go Blink if he gets surrounded. Obviously it's very situational, the use of those spells, and there's no reason to choose until you're actually in a position where you can use it. It's not like an aura or something where you just want to have it pretty much going all the time. And Moon building a second Ancient War here, so it looks like he's going to be going for some sort of Hunter's. Oh yeah, he's going to go for a Huntress build, I think probably similar to his game 1. And Moon rooting his Ancient, actually spending some time to move his Ancient of War towards his farm, and this is just because usually you just root it and then continue producing archers or something, but because he's going for a Hunter's Hall build, he has the extra time before his Hunter's Hall goes up, in which his Ancient of War can't do anything, so he can afford just to let it waste a bit of time walking towards the farm, and then also beating down on the farm because it doesn't have to be producing any units. So it looks like Moon has bought a Staff of TP again, like he did in game 1, and Infi is now going for an expansion, this time with an Archmage, just to probably go better for him, because Archmage obviously a lot better against Huntresses than Mountain King is, and Infi with Defend now, and Defend is just so good for creeping this camp, because obviously all the big damage comes from piercing units, and so this is probably going to go fairly well for Infi. Looks like Moon isn't going to come in time for the creep jack, he'll just be a couple seconds too late. It might actually mean he can skill to Fan of Knives and get a couple free kills of the footman, but I'm not sure if even that's going to work. And Sobi Mask for Infi, that's going to be very nice if he gets, say, a Mountain King second, especially against a Warden which can't just drain all your mana. And so I think this game is actually going a lot better for Infi than the first game, and obviously it's still up in the air, but overall I'd say Moon was just sort of so in control last game, even when he lost his hero to creeps intentionally. But Moon has now managed to get one footman kill, and it looks like he's going to get a second as well, unless Infi can deny it, but it looks like he's not even going to try and deny it. So that's going to be very nice for Moon. He's going to get him a lot closer to level 3, and Arcane Vault going up for Infi, and I imagine 100 Town Hall will be going up any second now. This Archer taking some damage from the Archmage, which has boots of speed, and so Moon might try and sacrifice it to the creeps. I'm not sure. He's actually uprooted this Ancient of War, so maybe he's not going to be going for a Huntress build. No, he's going for Huntresses. He's just uprooted one of his Ancient of Wars. That's quite odd. Because obviously he is now tier 2, and so I guess he's probably just going to be switching up from Huntresses to tier 3 units later, because he is tier 2 now. And he just built that second Ancient of War just so he couldn't be tower pushed really, or maybe he was trying to fake out Infi into thinking he was doing the same tactic he did in game one. And Moon now, as you can see, he's sort of breached the gap between creeps, and he is now at a level where he can creep these turtles safely. He does have to have a wisp, but that's not too much of a problem. And Infi is now coming in, and he is exactly level 3 pretty much, but it looks like he's going to be a couple seconds too late. Actually, no, he misses the creeping altogether, and he has to come back only when he sees sort of the rear end of the creeping, and this gives Moon time to pick up a Wand of Mana Stealing, which is fairly nice. Obviously mana is so important on the Warden, and Archmage always has a lot of spare mana around, so you can always you're gonna be able to steal a lot of mana from it. Although Infi does manage to bring in a couple Water Elementals to kill the Ancient of War, but I think his lords, Moon has one lord going up, and this is actually a second Ancient of War. Moon's obviously going for he's going for Vorpal Blade, so I guess he's going to be going for a Dryad and then Huntress build, maybe something like that.